All right, shalom, shalom. Can brothers hear me?
Khan, Shalom.
You there, WR?
Con, Shalom.
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and get started up. Keep us a sheep. Back with our weekly sit down. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakwadash. Before we begin, I'd like to first start off by giving our praise, our honor, and our glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Shalom, and shalom to the hopefully elect.
Con,
Khan,
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
All right, and today's sit down will be titled "Understanding That Everyone Has a Specific Lot." All right, and when when we say lot, all right, meaning basically a life. All right, everybody has a specific life. All right, not everyone's life, not everyone's life is the same. All right, not one person wakes up and have the same routine as another person. All right, meaning your life is set up specifically for you and for the purpose that the Most High has ordained for your life, right? And I was just meditating on this earlier. Going into basically dealing with the Lord. All right, from a young age, he himself he knew that he was, he had a lot. All right, he knew that he had certain things he had to fulfill and do. All right, as children, all right, we grow up wanting to be basketball players, NFL players, rappers, doctors. All right, not understanding that you have a spiritual life. Okay, of course, we have our day to days. All right, you may want to go to school and be this or be that or whatever it may be, but ultimately, the Most High. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab something real quick. I think that's Proverbs 27. Man's goings are of the Lord.
Khan, Proverbs 20 and 24.
God.
I'll bring it out for you.
God.
So it's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 24, and it reads, Men's goings out of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way?
God. So we go our whole lives. God, we go our whole lives planning out things to do. All right, but ultimately we whether we like it or not. All right, and I think I had mentioned this last camp after camp. If you part of the elect, like you can't help but be a part of the elect. All right, but bad as you want to be in the world, or bad as you want to pursue this in life, or bad as you want to pursue that in life, if you're called to be the elect, all right, dealing with Jonah, Jonah was called to preach. He was called to teach the word. So if you're called to do something, the Most High is going to interfere with everything else. All right, that you have going on in your personal life, right? And you know, not even people specifically, but generations. All right, nations. All right, we know the nation of nation of Edom was set up for what? For ultimately to be a sword. All right, judgment to the nation of Israel. So not only are people set up for different lots, but you have kingdoms set up for different lots, nations. Um, the list could go on and on. But I want to grab this real quick in Matthew 24 and 34, and it reads, bear with me. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 30. This is Matthew 24 and 30. It says, "Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then all the peoples of the earth will mourn." It says, "When they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, and he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other." 32. "Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the doors." 34 is the point. It says, "Truly I tell you, this generation certainly not pass away until all things happen. All right, in this generation, it goes into like an age. All right, and we know the Bible. Well, the Bible deals with regeneration, but the world calls it reincarnation. All right, so everyone back today is regenerated back to the earth for a specific reason. All right, and it's ultimately for judgment. All right, and to see the coming of our Lord Savior Yahweh Shah. And I just want to go into this word regeneration real quick. Well, generation. Bear with me. Y'all talk to Kakan, not Kakan, but Naaman.
I haven't heard from him.
I ain't heard from him earlier. He might be at work. I don't know how his shifts work, but he might be either at work or I don't know. I shot him a text though.
Okay, okay, okay. Khan, this is the word generation in the blue letter. Dang, I'm guessing it won't play from my other phone. Anyway, the root word is the pronunciation is genii and basically it says a generation. By implication, it says an age, the period or time of persons, age, generation, nation, or time. All right, so you have a specific you have a specific generation, which are a multitude of people, all right, that are back today for a specific reason. Because you gotta understand, and when you go into that word generation, a generation is like 33 years. So it's no coincidence where we're back today. All right, it's no coincidence that everybody's back today. Brothers got anything?
Con, give me 1 second.
Uh,
When I was also going to Romans, whenever you finish with your point about those lots, because Esau, Edom, and as well as Jacob, they both had lots, and then it goes also into how Pharaoh had his own lot. So every man, just going into your point, but every man has their own lot. The Most High Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah sets people up to do things specifically, right? He creates people for specific reasons, but I'll go more into it whenever you done with your point.
Con. So this made me think about the precept of First Corinthians chapter 14 to verse 32. Like it reads, in the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets, right? So just going back, back in the brother points up, right? Just going into that regeneration, right? Because once again, in the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets, because what the same prophets from old are the same prophets in here today, right? The same scoffers and mockers from old are the same scoffers and mockers here today, and so forth and so forth. Because why? Nothing new is under the sun, right? These are the same spirits that was created uh since spirits was created on the upon earth. And I also got another quick precept. This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1, and I will start at verse Uh, dang. Oh, I started verse 8, right? And once again, to back up the brother of Barak Ashar, it reads, all things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, or the ear filled with hearing. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Right. So everything is already preordained. Everything is already written. Right. So whatever the Lord have your lot to be, that's what it's going to be. Right. No ifs or buts about it. You can't change it. Right. No such thing as free will, right? Because everything is already preordained. And like it says, there is no new thing under the sun, right? So these are the same spirits being regenerated back upon this earth. Ultimately, like the brother's going into for ultimately for judgment. Right now, trying to see if I want to finish off right there or continue on. Uh I'll just finish out right there. The brother Hadabra, you can bring out your point.
Before I do that, that made me brothers can hear me, right?
God.
Khan.
Kind of. Before I go into that point, I was gonna make. You made me think about this precept right here, because again, like you said, everything is preordained, right? When you read, the book of Ecclesiastes, like it read, there's nothing new under the sun. So, and then even the brother Barack had mentioned it earlier, regeneration, or as the world says, reincarnation. People have a misunderstanding of, you know if it's true, if it's not true, so on and so forth. But the scriptures clearly tell us, the people that are here on this earth have been here since the very, very beginning, right? But dealing with the elect specifically, I'm gonna read this Ephesians 1, and I started 4. It says, according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, right? The foundation of the world means what? So when Yahweh and the angels, created this world, they were the architects of this world. Before all of that, he had a what? A chosen, right? Some a people who he specifically picked out that these were going to be the members of the elect, right? It says that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. The point being, having predestinated us into the adoption of children by Hamashiach Yahushua to himself according to the good pleasure of his will, which eventually will go into the other point I was going to make in the book of Romans, right? Because you got the left hand side and the right hand side, Pharaoh as well as Esau, Edom, as well as all of the other heathen nations, they're on the left hand side, but they had a lot, right? They were created to do a specific purpose, and you got the ones on the right hand side, which would be Israel, right? The elect, right? The chosen ones, right? They have a lot to be what the like it just read in verse 5, having predestined us unto the adoption of children by Hamashiach Yahushua, right? So we have been predestinated to be those children, right? Referring to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, for example, right? We have been chosen to be those people, right? That's our lot, right? Um, Also read this John 15 and 27, because again, since the foundation of the earth, John 15:27, it says, and ye also shall bear witness, because ye have been with me from the beginning, right? So again, we've been with, well, I say we lightly, but the elect has been with Yahweh Shah since the very beginning, right? That's always been that lot. That's that predestination, right? We've always been chosen. But
Con,
going into the
con, Salakia, what two precepts you just read?
one was Ephesians 1, and the other one was John 15.
Con, I got a quick precept for you.
Okay.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 44, and I started verse 1. And also, you didn't read the one with South formed thee from thy belly,
No, I
did
didn't
you?
read that. No.
Con. Going into I chose thee that we didn't choose you. How about Shem outside? Can you grab that for me if you don't mind? If one of the brothers ain't have nothing
Yeah, I got you.
throughout. So this Isaiah 44, and I started verse 1. And it reads, yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. This is the Lord Yahweh, that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jezurin, whom I have chosen. Right. So this is, backing up the brother point, right? The Lord had chosen us right since the very beginning to ultimately be, Lord will will that number of his elect. Right. He chose who he wanted to be the angels, right? He chose, Satan to be, ultimately the spiritual demon Satan to be the ruler of this earth. Right. He chose Esau to be Esau, the Moabites to be Moabites, and et cetera, and et cetera. Right. Can you bring out that whoever got that? Yeah, I
Uh,
formed you.
you want that? I formed you.
Which one you got? What
I
you
thought
got?
you wanted the you have not chosen me, but I've chosen you.
Con.
It's John 15 and
Oh, that's what you just read, though,
16.
right?
Well, I read verse 27. I didn't read 16.
Okay. Con, you can bring it up.
Verse 16, it says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that
Con,
ye
so
should.
Con, you can just stop right there because, like you said, in ordained Jews, right? So this is going back to, the title at hand, how everyone has a lot. Like why the Lord ordained everyone's life, right? Whether they from Israel or they're from the other nations, the Lord is in control of all things. All right, you can finish off.
It says that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain, and that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you.
But I brought my point out, Con. So you got it. The
Do
water.
you still want that? Do you want that, Jeremiah? That before I
Yeah.
formed thee in the belly.
Yeah, Khan, bring it out. Bring it out.
This is Jeremiah 1, and I'll just start at 4. It says, Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. Right. And we know that word sanctified means, you know what? It's kind of like to make holy, right? To uh, basically, like we just read in the previous chapter, to be ordained, right? To be chosen, right? Separated, right? Or cleaned, or however you want to say it, it all means the same things. It says, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So just like the brother brought out with the previous verse, that ordained, man. But um going into the other point I was making, unless brothers got something.
Con, you good.
So this is Romans 9, and I started. Mm, I started at 9. Yeah, I started at 9. Well, damn. You could really start at 1 almost, but I started at 8. I started at 8, Slocky. So this is Romans 9 and 8. It says, That is they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the most high, but the children of the promise are accounted for the seed. For this is the word of the promise, and at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to the election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. Right. So you have to think when we going into this situation or this topic of having lots, right, or or predestination or being preordained, or you know however you want to shape it or however you want to call it, right? When you break it down to its core, we have two children being Jacob and Esau, right? They both have two lots. They didn't do anything. They didn't done, what did it just say? They haven't done any good or evil, right? But yet, for the purpose of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, they had to carry out their lots. They had to do what they were created to do, right? And then
Khan, quick point. That goes all the way back to Genesis, right? And you were just reading
God,
Romans the 9th chapter, right?
God, you want to grab that Genesis?
So, fellow, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, kind of, yeah, now.
Okay, yeah. I went to the Bible. I guess it muted my mic. I'm finna grab that in Genesis, right? Just to back you up. Would you go continue to read on in Romans the 9th chapter?
Yeah, I was just gonna go down to Pharaoh.
Yeah, kind of go down to where it goes to the potter of the potter to the clay, roughly paraphrasing.
Kind. You
I
want to do that
believe
now?
that's
Or you want
around.
that Genesis out first?
Now I'm gonna grab that Genesis out first.
Uh,
So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 23. Like this will be the point, right? And it reads, and the Lord Yahweh said unto her, right? Her being Rebecca. It said, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger, right? So this is right there. That it just shows you the light right there, right? On how the one people, but like it says, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Right. So that's brother Esau lot off real to what to serve Jacob. Right now we're in his kingdom, in his heaven in a sense. But soon, right, that finna be a future prophecy that finna come to pass, and then ultimately that's gonna be his life. Ultimately, him being our servants. But Con, you got it. The water.
so brother brought it up perfectly. So continuing on, uh verse 12, like you just said, right? Romans 9 and 12, it says, It was said unto her, The elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? And here's, a little bit of the point, because people, first of all, most people don't know these things. They don't know these scriptures, right? So when you bring it out to them, they be like, well, that's not right. That how can this person be punished for something that they haven't did yet? But in all actuality, one, because Yahweh Shah said so, right? But two, all these people have had past lives, right? Because we know Esau, Edom. is that had the spirit. Hold on, Salakia. Salakia. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, Khan. We know Esau Edom had what the same spirit as the serpent in the garden when dealing with Adam and Eve, right? So everybody, because what was it say in the book of Ecclesiastes? What he required of that which is past, right? So everything that you've done in the past, he's gonna require it of you, right? That's your lot, But um, continuing on, verse 14, it says, "What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? Most High forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of it that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy." Right? That's it. It's all according to Yahweh Shem Shai. Right? Um, Continuing on, verse 17. It says, "For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth." So what happened when you go into it, um, in the book of Exodus, right? He hardened Pharaoh's heart, right? He did it for a purpose, which was not just read it. This is Exodus 4:21. It says, "And the Lord saith unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hand, but I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go." Right? Everybody has their own lot. Like the brother brought out earlier in the book of Proverbs, you know, the man's goings are the Lord, right? How then can a man understand his own way? Pharaoh don't know why he did what he did, but it was all according to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? That's how you also have those scriptures that say, the hearts of kings is in the hands of the Lord, roughly paraphrasing, right? He sways them whithersoever he will, right? But
Can you reread that real fast?
in Exodus,
I'm trying to find a quick piece up in Exodus as well.
uh,
Yeah, just
this
going
is
into the same way. Hold on, still like you. Give me one second. Let me find this piece up real quick.
uh,
Uh, hold on.
I can go ahead and reread it if you want me to.
Uh, I found it. The water.
So this is again Exodus 4:20-21. It says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand, but I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go."
So just going into the Exodus and then that Romans, right? Because the same way how the Lord, did Pharaoh with hardening his heart, and how he don't want to give up, the Lord's people, right? The same way the Lord doing to Esau right now, right? Because Esau know that we the prime possession, right? Esau know that we the most what's the word, that we the most valuable Jews on the planet. Right. So this is the book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16, right? This the repercussion. Same thing that happened to Pharaoh. This is the same thing that's going to happen to Esau, ultimately destruction. Right. So this Exodus 21 and 16 saying, "He that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death." Right. The same, just going back to Exodus, right? When we was in Egypt, what did the Lord do? He found us in the hand of Pharaoh. What did the Lord do to Pharaoh and his army? He killed them, right? Destroyed them. The same thing the Lord finna do with Esau and his army. We go still because we still in the hand of Esau Edom as of right now, as of this second. Right. So what do you think the Lord going to do to Esau and his army? Same thing he did to Pharaoh, man. Ultimately destroy him. But then that's what's going to happen. That captivity, man. So that's all. Brothers got it.
And it's ultimately showing you that the Most High, he doesn't move on man time. He doesn't move on man's logic and man's emotion, because a lot of these events are already, like going to that word, preordained or predestined. A lot of these events are decided in the spiritual realm. So counsel, the Most High is having counsel with his angels on the left hand, the right hand, because we know they'll count with who was that? King Ahab. Where you know, you had the angel on the left hand go down and be a lion spirit to the prophet. So basically, you know, just to back the brother up, you know, Esau is condemning himself, all right, because for so long his you know, his I guess his sorcery, it worked. All right, it worked for so long, but now, you know, it's wearing off. So his only, you know, his only option is, you know, try to up that. But again, the Most High doesn't, you know, the things are already set in play. Like the scripture says, I think it's Edges. I'm gonna grab it real quick. He said he doesn't move nor stir the times, bro. Know what I'm talking about?
I think
Nah,
that's
second.
Ecclesiastes.
Now that
Uh,
second Ezra is 4 and 37.
Okay.
Real quick. So the
Measure
Most
has
High,
measured time.
he doesn't go back on his word. He doesn't, you know, we can't, you know, he, Esau he tries his best to, you know, work around prophecy, or, you know, try to just like it says in, I think it's Genesis, how he sought for repentance. All right, he cried, whatever. So once the Most High does something, he doesn't renege. All right, he doesn't change his mind. He doesn't you can't woo the Most High, you can't persuade the Most High. Uh, this is second Ezra 4 and 37 says, by measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. All right, so and again, that's dealing with people. All right, it's dealing with kingdoms. Um, of course, nations. You know, just prophecy itself. All right, because if it was up to us, we would want to be out here tomorrow. And you know, our brother was going into it a while ago. Many brothers going to it, especially like the elder GMS Amawan Gabar. But prophecy is gonna be prophecy is a natural event. All right, things happen naturally. All right, it's not gonna be boom, boom, boom. That's why the scripture says, you should hear rumors of wars. All right, but you know, this is not the end. All right, because why? As the scripture says, the heart of the man, you know, is deceitful. Okay, because one day, you know, a man may be ready to go to war. All right, and the next day he may be ready to, you know, be cool. All right, be with a woman. But again, you know, the point is things don't happen on men time. All right, and I got another precept in Job, but brothers ain't got that.
And I got a quick precept for you.
Uh,
Just going to that point that you made, where basically the Lord changed not, right? He don't change for man's emotion, right?
uh,
He don't change for none of that, right? So this is the book of Malachi, chapter 3, in verse 6, and it reads, "For I am the Lord Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." Right. So that's the point that I wanted. Right. Was, "For I am the Lord Yahweh, I change not." So the Lord's not finna change because you want the Lord to fulfill this prophecy at your needs, or you want something to happen because of going off your emotions. Right. The Lord fulfill, your lot. The Lord fulfill prophecy at his own time, right? At his own doing. You gotta think. Our thoughts are not his thoughts, our ways are not his ways, and our time is not his time. Right. So therefore, when the Lord wants something to be fulfilled, or the Lord wants something to happen, that's when the Lord's gonna do it, right? On his time.
uh, um, and you know, again, the Most High, the Most High, his time is natural, man. You know, because people think just because it's the Most High that, you know, things will happen. Uh, s- what's the word? People think it will happen like sporadically. All right, it would be miraculous. All right, people think that things will happen, you know, at the drop of a dime, or just, you know, just suddenly. But things don't work like that. But
That thing will happen spontaneously. I think that's how you
uh,
pronounce it.
God. And see that's that Christianity. All right, that's that Christianity, doctor. Because so many people believe that you know, God's gonna save everybody, or God is all nice, he's all loving, but the Most High is he's long suffering. All right, the Most High, he's terrible. He's a jealous God. All right, so the Most High, again, he's a man. Like, and, you know, man is of course, man is a carnal, you know, a carnal, but the Most High is spiritual. But again, we're made in the image of the Most High. All right, we get mad, the Most High get mad. We get jealous, the Most High get jealous. All right. But the thing about the Most High, again, he stand on his word, right? Like the brother brought out. He changed not because if the Most High, if he went back on his word, or he just if he held everything against us, all right, and ultimately we would be consumed. There would be no nation of Israel because we really don't deserve the mercy that the Most High has shared with us. But this is Job 14. It says Job speaks of the finality of death. Verse 1. It says, man that is born of a woman is of few days and full of trouble. It says, 2, he cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not. Verse 3, and dost thou open thy eyes upon such an one, and bringest me into judgment with thee? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Verse 5, it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right. And we always relate this to Esau Edom. All right, being that he has bounds that he cannot pass, but it's not just Esau, is man. All right, because Esau, his whole goal is eternal life. All right, how can I live forever? How can I be like God? But ultimately, that's only for the Israelites. That's for for the kingdom of heaven. All right. It says 5, seeing his days are determined. All right, meaning again, Esau in the spiritual realm, each man is given a lot. Okay, and it's almost like it's almost like a deja vu effect thing. All right, brothers have deja vu, or I seen it before, I felt this before. That's why the Lord say, "Before I formed thee, I knew thee." So, eventually, you got a glimpse. All right, once before, you in the spiritual realm, you got a glimpse of everything that you about to go through. All right, you know how people say, especially in movies, people say, my life flashed before my eyes. That's because it
Hmm.
did. Because in the spiritual realm, your life had already played out. Right. You got something, Javier?
Oh, no, no, no. Well, unless brothers want me to go back into that,
Kind
what
of.
you off
Nah,
in that
I
Romans.
finished the joke. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. It says, turn from him that he may rest till he shall accomplish as in hireling this day. Meaning, basically, once you're born, it's almost like clocking in to work. All right, you go to work, you work your 10 hours, your 12 hours, your 8 hours. Once you're born to the earth, you're now on a job, and you clock out when the Lord clocks you out. All right, and that's just showing you that we're here to do a job. Like the brother brought out earlier, the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophets. So same thing on the left hand. You have people who are created in the world just for wickedness. What the scripture says, there are vengeance created for, there are spirits created for vengeance. Okay, so not everybody's gonna have the lot of a prophet or the lot of a men of the Lord or the righteous. You specifically have people set up to harm other people. You have people specifically set up to be deceivers. That's why the Lord said the deceive and the deceiver are mine. Okay, so the Most High, he ultimately assigns everybody. And I know it sounds repetitive, but we have to, we have to teach it like that. That way, Jay can get it, man. Verse 6 again says, "Turn from him that he may rest, till he shall accomplish as in hireling his day." Verse 7 it says, "For there is a hope of a tree if it be cut down, that it will sprout again." All right, going to that regeneration, reincarnation. It says, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease. All right, so men, carnal men don't think that, okay, I come back eventually. Okay, that they don't set up, they don't set up and think that everybody got their yellow spirit. All right, men don't think, okay, eventually I come back. All right, but and that's something these elites know. All right, the wicked elite know that they'll come back they'll come back in the kingdom of heaven. All right, but they'll be born into captivity. All right, but Jake, carnal men, that they don't think about these things, right?
kind of like you said, everybody got that YOLO spirit. They think, you know, after they do all the crimes that they want, after they do every, whatever pleases their flesh, that there'll be um no repercussions, right? That's that Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Roughly paraphrasing, because sentence against an evil work isn't executed speedily, therefore the hearts of sons of men is fully set them to do evil, right? Roughly paraphrasing once again, right? Ever they think, you know, but I just robbed somebody, but ain't nothing happened. I ain't get caught. I should be good. Nah, man. All these things. That's what's that? Ecclesiastes 12 and 14. You know, um, every secret thing is gonna be brought into judgment. Roughly paraphrasing, right? But you got it.
God, just to back you up, this is Ecclesiastes 3 and 2. It says, if brothers would grab that, you shall stand in your lot to the end of the days. What is that? Is that Idris? Stand in thy lot. Go thy way and stand in the lot. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, this is Ecclesiastes 3 and verse. I start at verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. It says a time to be born and a time to die. All right, and that's basically the point because again, dealing with lots, all right, dealing with lives, all right. And I had went to that word again, generation earlier, and it says like roughly 33 years is a generation, and we know that the Lord, he was 33 when he was crucified or whatever. So it's just showing you that the Lord was here for he wasn't what they say in the world. I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time, something like that. Anyway, the Lord was here for literally for a specific time. Uh, he knew at his 33-year-old age that he would be gone. All right, so it's not like it, you know, and we know the kingdom of heaven is coming, but it's not like we can plan for 10 years from now or 15 years from now, man. All right, because again, it says a time to be born and a time to die. All right, so ultimately, we all have a day. All right, unless we are part of that number that doesn't die. As the Lord said, there be man standing here that shall not taste of death. All right,
I got that precept you was asking for.
kind of where is it?
Daniel 12.
Let me get there real quick. Okay,
Um, but it reads again, Daniel 12 and verse 13. It says, but go thou thy way to the end B, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days.
kind of break it down.
Like you just said, you have to be in your lot until until everything is fulfilled. I mean, you can't change it. Like you just read in what was that, second Esdras, he does not move nor stir them until the same measure be fulfilled, if we paraphrase it. Right. So to the end of time, till everything is fulfilled, like it goes into in the book of Matthews, till heaven and earth pass, till all these things be fulfilled, you're gonna stand in that light and nothing's gonna change, right? But that's the way it gotta be. It's the Lord's movie at the end of the day.
Con, did y'all bring out Sirach 33, 33rd chapter?
I think that's
Yeah.
what I'm looking for now.
Uh, what you look for? I'll go read
I'm looking for that to thy seed be fulfilled. But
to
basically,
the.
is I think somebody was talking to the angel, and basically he was saying, till you come back a number of times. He said, until thy seed be fulfilled in thee.
Oh, to thy seed be fulfilled in thee.
Yeah.
Can I get one moment? Ooh,
I'm gonna go back to that. Daniel says Daniel 12 again says verse 13 says, but go thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of thy days, at the end of the days. All right, so going back to the point at hand, whether we plan to be on those chariots or not. All right, whether we plan to be on the run from Esau or not. That's exactly what we're gonna be. You know how in life people be like, man, how did I get here? oh man, what happened? Or how, how did I get this? How did I get this far?
Hmm.
When really, the most I got you there. Exactly how you got there, because the most I wanted you there, right? A lot of times it don't matter. It don't matter how much you plan or how effective you are with your your scheduling, your day to day, or whatever. It's just like in the world on a corner level, you got people who people are saying, okay, man, I know a guy, he was better than Michael Jordan or he was better than LeBron, but they never got the chance to, they never got their chance, right? But the ultimate, that's why Scripture says, roughly paraphrasing, time and chance was given to them all, roughly paraphrasing. That's what I'm talking about.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. I do know what you're talking about. I could try
Kind
to,
of, you ain't got to grab it, but just showing you that you know we when they say we all got the same 24 hours, that's true, but not everybody's gonna do this, do the same thing, man.
kind of that goes into like them, the parable like, with those with the talents.
Uh-huh.
Every like, you giving what you giving, and I mean what you do with it is that's a whole nother conversation. Because if you don't flip them talents, you know, I mean honestly, at the end of the day, that was your lot. Your lot was to be rebellious or be cowardly or however you want to put it. Right. That's why
Con,
we let me grab this scripture. Um,
Kind I got a precept going into that as well.
I found it in Ezra's too, June. If you hadn't found it, I found it.
Nah, you got you bring that. I got another precept.
I kind of real quick before you get too far. It wasn't that second Ezra we brought out earlier. It was above, but this second Ezra is 4, and I started 34. It says, he answered me saying, it says, do not thou hasten above the Most High, for thou haste in vain to be above him, for thou hast much exceeded. Did not the souls of the righteous ask questions of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope this fashion, when cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seas is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in a balance. All right, so basically the angel was telling them, until you have came back, uh, and fulfilled every lot that you got, man. All right, and I think this was, I think he was asking, what's his account when he was asking why we don't rule, or not. This might not be that one. But anyway, it just shows you, even on the regeneration level, on the reincarnation level, we can't receive the kingdom of heaven until we've fulfilled every lot that we have to fulfill. Right? But that's the point.
Kind how that bro? You finna bring out your precept?
uh, you can go.
You said what now?
So you can go ahead with yours.
I was gonna bring this out in the book of Sirach, chapter 33, and I was gonna start at verse 10, just backing y'all points about the different talents, different lots, things of that such, right? So this the book of Sirach, chapter 33, and I'll start at verse 10, and it reads, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. And much knowledge the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse, right? And when you go to that word diverse, this AI overview, right? It says the word diverse is an adjective that means showing a great deal of, var, variety. And I pronounced that wrong. Uh,
Variety.
yeah, variety. I was finna say that. What the hell? Salaki. So it said it describes a group or a set of things made up of elements that are very different from each other, such as people from many different cultures and of yeah, kind. So I just end right there. Right. So just going back into, you know, well, this definition, just how I say, elements that are very different from each other, such as people from many different cultures, right? Because the Lord have once again just going back into those lots and the different type of lots that people have. Are just going back to the prophets being the prophets, you know the you know the Then what's some more examples? The athletes being athletes, the actors being actors, and so forth and so forth. Right. So I'm gonna continue on verse 12. It says, "Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it as his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as like of him best." Right. And this is a quick precept to that Romans the ninth chapter. I don't think we got there yet, but right, but it's a quick precept on how the Lord is that it's that potter, right? And ultimately, uh, us humans, right, we are the clay, right? So the Lord can determine your life to be any type of way, right? The Lord can have you to be rich and then go broke, or for you to be broke to become rich, and et cetera, and et cetera, right? And I'm gonna finish off in verse 14. It reads, it says, "Good is set against evil, and life against death. So it's the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly." So just we know that just the different examples, right, of the Lord, having people with different lots, right? But brothers got it.
Since you said that, I can go back into that Romans if you want.
Con, you can bring that out.
Uh, so this is Romans 9, and I'll start at I don't remember where I left off at. I left off at 17 or 18. So I pick back up at 19. So this is Romans 9 and 19. It says, "Thou would then say unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For whoever resisted his will. But nay, O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have not the
Con,
potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?"
so this is going back to verse 19 through 20, right? Because like it says, "Nay, but oh man, who art thou that replies against the heavenly Father? Shall the thing foreign say to him that foreign did, why hast thou made me this?" Right. And in the hood, and things of that such, you may hear people saying, why the Lord had to why the Lord, did this, why the Lord did that, or why the Lord, had us to grow up in the slums, in the ghettos. And you also be hearing people like, hey, then you also hear people like, hey, you play the card that was dealt, right? Then they didn't question the Lord, right? Because why the Lord, the one that formed that, or the formed him, or that made that person that way for a certain reason, right? Because that
Mhm.
reason could be because they part of the 2/3, right? That reason could be for character development, and ultimately to character development, and for him to have a great story on how he came into the truth and became this great man, right? So, oh, you can continue on. I think you can end it verse 22, but you start back up at 21.
Yeah, I ended off at 23.
Okay,
But
okay, okay.
verse 21, it says, have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?"
So this is showing you right then and there how the Lord already preordained these two brothers, right? For one to be a vessel to honor and another to dishonor. We know that vessel to honor is Jacob, and the vessel to dishonor is Esau Edom, and they're just showing you right there that that is their lot, right? So you can continue on.
Verse 22, "What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?"
All right, so and it's just going into Esau Edom being that vessel of wrath fitted to destruction, and you can finish off at 23.
23, it says, "And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory."
All right, you can get that definition of four if you want to, or you could just say it out loud. But who is that vessels of mercy, right? Going back up to verse what verse is that? Verse 18. Therefore hath he have mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he harden. Right? Who did the Lord say he will have mercy on? Jacob, right? You can go into that Isaiah the 14th chapter and verse 1. right? But it's just showing you right then and there how the Lord already had it before time, right? Or before time, before Jacob and Esau even knew, before even Cain and Abel, before even Adam, created the whole earth, right? But brothers got it.
The definition for a four, right? If you go to it in the blue letter, right? The it's G4282. It's pronounced, I think, it's like if I get it wrong, but uh proitomazo, proitomazo. But it says to prepare before, to make ready beforehand. So again, that goes into that preordained, predestined, right? Um, from the foundation of the earth. Once again, right? It's all this stuff has all been played out, right? Everybody's in their life, you know.
Con. Great point, man. Great points. Uh, I got this in Isaiah 57 real quick, just to just to make a point on how basically and the Lord, because dealing with death, all right, ultimately death, we know that death is not it's not permanent, all right, and death can be mercy, man. Death can be an escape, all right. Death can be a way out, all right. So at the end of each person's life, all right, whether you're, at the end of your life is death, or the end of your life, your life is salvation, all right. Meaning being beamed up. But cause of course you're gonna have some elect members who have to be martyred for this truth or whatever. They have to be beheaded, or however they go out. Cause we know that all the majority of the prophets was persecuted. All right, so if the prophets are back today, it's gonna be a lot of persecution. Right, but this is Isaiah 57 and verse 1. It says, "The righteous perish, and no man lay it to heart." It says, "And merciful men are taken away." It says, "None considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come." Man, all right. So the Most High said it where certain men wouldn't have to experience certain things, because Jacob's trouble is gonna be something. Jacob trouble is gonna be serious, man. And a lot of men aren't. Each man is weighed differently. All right, some men gonna be strong enough for it, and some men not. All right, so ultimately, death is gonna be not necessarily an escape, but a way out. Right. This is again Isaiah 57 and 1. It says, "The righteous perish, and no man lay it to heart." All right, because when somebody die, of course everybody they pity them, they feel bad for them, right? It says, "And the merciful men are taken away." It says, "None considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil that is to come." Man, all right. So even in Great Millstone, all right, amongst the brothers, you had I forget the elder brother name, but he was from one of the main camps. I think he had like some kind of sickness, but he passed like 2 years. Remember, brothers, what I'm talking about? He passed like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think I remember. I think his name
Yeah,
was
God.
like Daniel or something like that.
God.
Yeah, he had like some type of sickness, but yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
So and that was his lot, man. All right, and fortunately he passed in the truth. So that's a it ain't like he passed in the word. It ain't like he fell out the truth, or he was somebody who stopped doing the work. The brother was actively doing the work. So that's that says a lot, man. All right.
Because if I remember correctly, the sickness he had was a painful one, but through it all, he stayed faithful to Yahweh Shem Shah, right? That just goes all according to him understanding the lot, and having that faith, But uh,
God. And even it reminds me of Job, all right, because at one point Job begged for death. All right, Job told the Most High, basically he said he should have been died, but he was telling the Most High, just be done with him, like why let me suffer, man. All right, and they're just showing you again, like everybody has different lots. All right, your lot may be to suffer. All right, and the Most High may have mercy on another brother, and that brother may not suffer as long as you. right?
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Con, con.
um,
Trying to find this precept. Bear with me. Brothers ain't got that.
Con, you got it.
your brother hear me?
Con.
Okay. Was there a specific precept you wanted to go to with Job?
Uh, no, not exactly. I was trying to find something in I think it was in Ecclesiastes, but basically I think Solomon was saying how basically all the days of man are vain, man, and
Oh,
it
kind of all this vanity.
kind.
I think I know what you're referring to. Um, this is, let me see if I got it right.
Should be one and two, right? Vanity of vanities.
I think it's 1 and 14.
Yeah, yeah, it might be one at 14. I know which one you talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. Con, one and 14.
Kind.
I can break it out for you if you want me to.
Is start at verse 10. Matter of fact, start at verse 9, so like it.
Con. So this the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9, and it reads, "The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." And we had went into that point earlier, right? Verse 10 says, "Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us." Right? It may and I'm continuing to read. Verse 11 says,
Quick
okay, you got
point.
it.
It just shows you that, of course, the Most High has already tried men. And He knows exactly what's in a man's heart, and just showing you that the flesh could produce the same things. All right, that's why we need to be made. That's why we need those new bodies, and that's why we need the laws, statutes, commandments to be put in our inwards. All right, that's why Yahweh Shai, He made it. He made his point to tell us to walk in the spirit, man, because the flesh only produce the same exact thing each time, and it can only produce so much. All right, I think it's in Corinthians, but it tells you the the fruits of the flesh, basically. It's all wickedness. All right, it's all evilness, and again, that's why we do die. All right, that's why all these things are vanity and vain. But continue on.
Verse 11, it reads, "There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after." I, the preacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sort travail hath the hour given to the sons of men to be exercised therewith. I
Kind
have
so
okay, you got it.
Solomon was trying to figure it out, man. He was trying to figure out what's. Of course, we know the whole duty of man is to keep the commandments, but he was trying to figure out, well, what's the whole point of this flesh? All right, because again, in these, because why the flesh dies, man. All right, these bodies. That's why it says we have to put on that incorruptible. All right, because these bodies are subject to death. So he was trying to, Simon trying to figure out what's the point of us having these feelings. What's the point of us having these wants and desires in his flesh if ultimately they don't profit anything. All right, go ahead.
Verse 14, it reads, "I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit."
Uh, so man, basically, all the things that we want on a corner level or desire or get fixated on. it's all vanity, man, and most importantly, it, it's all vanity. In so many words.
God.
None of this matter, man. So all the jobs that you may have, the people you may meet, the cars you may buy, the houses you may own, don't ain't none of them gonna get you in the kingdom. So it's all vanity. You know, the only things that truly matter are the things that's gonna get you, closer to that salvation. So that's the knowledge of this truth, right? Those are the true riches in this life. Since I said that, um, read this right quick. I think it's in the book of.
Con, and just a quick point while the brother, find a precept, right? Just like it said, vexation of spirit, right? Because when we see these things, what it does is vex our spirit, right? Seeing Jake, I know one of the things that vex my spirit the most is seeing Jake on live, on social media, and and everybody else is tuning in to this live, knowing damn well it's producing straight negativity, right? It might be a spirit at work or something at work that vex your spirit, right? Or it's just multiple things that vex your spirit, right? But that's why the Lord tells us to put on that armor of the Heavenly Father, right? So we can remain patient, disciplined, spiritual, and etc. All right.
God,
But the precept is Jeremiah 9 and starting at 23. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For these things I delight, saith the Lord." So don't be, you don't need to be boastful in, you know, whatever riches the Lord may bless you with, or, whatever glory, anything in this world. There's no need to boast about. The only thing that you could possibly be boastful or glory in is just the fact that you know Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, right? Everything else again is vanity.
God, God, man, that's a great precept, great point. Uh, brothers, got anything before we close out?
Um, nah, uh, can't I say anything? Lord willing.
God. All right. With that, Lord will, I pray again. This lesson was edifying. Until next time. I'd like to close out by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, and Shalom to the hopefully elect.
And so on.
Shalom, shalom.